We're going to give today an example of using the metaphors, some literary devices like the metaphors, repetition, and other literary devices so we can understand how to incorporate them in our own writing and understand how to analyze uh, and critically analyze other texts. So I'm going to give an example from a chapter in the Quran, and that chapter is called the chapter of a sharh, or the opening of the chest. And the whole theme is to assure us that with every difficulty, there is ease. With every difficulty, there is ease, indeed. And indeed is repeated twice. I would like to read it in Arabic first, and then I'm going to say the translation, and I'm going to go briefly over the literary devices to analyze this particular chapter in the Quran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم نشرح لك صدرك. Look at the ending of the verses from 1 to 4. It ends with a K sound. ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go over the translation first. Number one, have we not opened your chest? And we lifted you from your burden of a sin or a mistake, something that we do wrong. I want you to think about the metaphors as I read it, and then I'm going to go over it with you. That sin or that burden, the one that weighed heavily on your back and weighed your back down. Okay? And we raised your renown. We raised your reputation. For indeed, with every hardship, there is ease. Indeed, with every hardship, there is ease. So, when you're free, when you're empty, when you feel empty out of the burden and out of the hardship, and you don't know what to do, فإذا فرغت فانصب, stand up. Insab in Arabic, it means it's the case where you open. Nasaba is to open. So open your heart, open your chest, open your mind for all the possibilities of ease that God will guide you to. I want you to understand this. So when you're empty, stand up and be open to all possibilities of ease. And to your Lord alone. Your Lord, again, the translation is sustainer, teacher, provider, the kindest in all existence for you, the unconditionally loving. Direct all your desires. I want you to see this. I would like to run over this particular chapter. So the literary analysis of Surah Al-Sharh, which is chapter 94, with all the verses, it starts with, haven't we not opened, expanded your chest for you? The rhetorical device here, what is it? First of all, it's a rhetorical question, right? It's affirming rhetorical question. Expected the answer is not just yes, but indeed, certainty, right? And emphatic and certain affirmation. We understand in some languages like French, for example, we have we and we have si. We for any question, si for a negative question. That's also in Arabic. Yes, na'am, for a positive question, and la is no And for a negative question, you say without no, without doubt, certainly, yes, which is in Arabic, bala. So we're going to continue to talk about this, the metaphor, and also personification. We see here that the chest is imagined as a space that can be expanded, opened, and relieved. This metaphor, it conveys to us the lifting of emotional and spiritual constraints that actually makes you feel tight in the chest. Now, the word play, sharh, it means both to expand and also to clarify, to open, and also it means to open something as if you're have an open heart surgery to heal any uh, illness, whether it's emotional or spiritual or even physical. To refer to the what? To spiritual relief. So it's blending intellectual clarity. And of course, the sound and the rhyme, we could see the repetition of the direct object, you, which is ka in Arabic, if you know Arabic, personalizes the verse, while the consonant cluster, sharh, suggests an what? Audible sense of unfolding. Now, وَوَضَعْنَا عَنْكَ وِزْرَكَ, and we lifted from you your burden. So in the next second verse in Surah Al-Sharh, we see وَوَضَعْنَا عَنْكَ وِزْرَكَ, which means, and we lifted from you your burden, the burden of sin. And we see wizr here, the sin withers the person. So the metaphor here is the burden, which is wizr, the burden of sin that withers the human being, is pictured as a physical weight removed from the shoulders. This is a vivid image of a sin or difficulty being carried like a heavy, heavy load that weighs our back down. Now, the continuity, the verse continues the intimate address with suffixes you, right? So God is addressing us with the personal you, which is K in or kaf in Arabic, reinforces closeness of God to us in the time of difficulty. Now, I want to explain something here about symbolism and sound symbolism. Again, the word whizzer has a heavy phonetic quality. It's echoing the heaviness of the load it represents. الذي أنقض ظهرك, which means the burden that broke your back. It's hyperbole and imagery that words أنقض, it suggests cracking or collapsing or ruining, evoking the sound and the image of something breaking under pressure, which is the wither or the wizr, which is the sin. The exaggeration or this exaggerates the weight of a sin or a burden. Now, again, the progression of image, the burden is the first described as resting on the chest in verse 1, and now it's pressing down on the back. So the person who commits a sin, they're pushed from the chest and the back with heavy weight. So pressing down on the back here, intensifying the physicality of this particular metaphor. وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرَكَ, it means that we raised your mention, we raised your renown for you. What does that mean? The mentioning of dhikr here stands for reputation, your honor, your remembrance. To raise one's mention, it means to grant that person lasting recognition in honor and dignity. Now, a sharp contrast is created here between lowering the burden being placed down and raising the reputation being elevated. So we could see also the contrast, which is another literary device that's used in the Quran. The sound pattern, the repetition of the ka, referring to you, again emphasizes the intimacy between God and the human who is actually committing a sin, and that sin is creating a burden that weighing down on their chest and back as well. Exclusivity, which is the phrase for you, stresses personal honor and divine favor even on those who commit sins. And then comes the affirmation from God, فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. I want you to pay attention here that the word inna is taken in the English language, is indeed. Break it down. Inna is the Arabic inna, Quranic, and deed means action. So the action or the effect of the in, which is Arabic, it means certainty. It emphasizes the particle inna reinforces what? Certainty, and it's used in the same way in English as well. Antithesis here, the pairing of usr, which hardship, with yusr. Look at the word yusr, easier, yusr in English. It sharpens the contrast. So we had a contrast between the chest and the back, and then weighing down, and then God is elevating one's dignity, honor, and reputation and mention. That's contrast. And the other contrast is what? Is difficulty and ease. Difficulty and ease. Indeed, with every difficulty, there is ease. With every difficulty, indeed, again is repeated. With every difficulty, there is ease or comes ease. The definiteness and the indefiniteness with hardship is indefinite. إن مع العسر يسرا. Al-usri is definite and singular and specific, while ease is indefinite. I want you to think about why hardship is definite while ease is indefinite, suggesting multiple possibility or abundance forms of relief in every possible way. And that's what we will see in the following verse. Time relation. The phrase was ma'a, as in German mit, which is with. The mit in German flips the M into W, becomes with. In English, ma'al usri yusra. It shows that at the same time, not only there's the sequence of ease exists alongside hardship, not just after it. I want to show here, it shows with every difficulty there is ease, not after each difficulty there is ease. So whenever we are in a hardship, we have to look around and be open to all possibilities of ease and the abundance of form of ease. It repeats again, indeed, with hardship comes ease. Repetition, again, that's another literary device, which is repetition. The exact repetition strengthens certainty, reassurance to the person who's what? Who's weighed down by their sins and weighed down by their burdens that presses on their chest and weighs down, ruins their back. They can't carry it. And also it shows that memorability for you to remember and never forget that with every difficulty comes ease, with every difficulty comes ease, with certainty from God. Interpretive note here, I would like to talk about it because all the usr, which is difficulty or hardship, in both occurrences, it happens, is definite in both, while yusran, which is easier, right? Ease is indefinite each time. Now, this is, again, one hardship cannot overcome the abundance of ease. So we have to realize that the ease that comes from God is way above one hardship. Okay? Now, here is the solution. What to do when you're in hardship? So when you are depleted and feeling emptiness because of your hardship and you don't know what to do, then strive, stand up. Insib, which is from nasaba, and nasaba is the case in the Arabic language for openness. It's fatha, and fatha means what? To open. So it's concise, conditional form. The structure is when you're in hardship, you're depleted and free out of hardship, then strive, stand, open, stand firm, but open to all possibilities of ease. Here I see that the structure is highly economical. When then a stylistic device of what? Power. Meaning of fansab is derived from the root word meaning to exert, to stand upright, open-chested, open-hearted, open-minded, to tire oneself. It conveys both physical striving and mental as well as spiritual dedication. Never losing hope, right? The alteration, which is the repetition of fa, you do that, then the effect. Remember, we said inna is like indeed, and the fa is used in English as well, which is what? We call it the effect, the cause and effect. When that happens, then fa, the effect. Do what? So then, right? Farghab, which means, and fansab, it creates a driving rhythm here. Look at the rhythm, urging action. What kind of action? The text moves from reassurance of in the previous verses to actions now and responsibility that the person who's depleted out of their burden needs to do, to be open, to stand up straight, never to, be held back or weighed down by any burden or difficulty. And to your Lord, again, the translation of Lord is very weak, your sustainer, your teacher, the one who embraces you, the one who helps you, the one who provides for you, the one who takes you out of difficulty to ease. It shows that prepositional phrase to your Lord comes first, stressing exclusivity. Focus and take all your desires toward God should be directed to God, to Him alone. Look at the word choice here. It's desires. It does not say your wants. It does not show that you're seeking ease, but it shows your desires, which means whatever your heart desires. If you take it to God, He will make it easy for you and He will make it come true. The parallelism here, the pairing of fansab and farghab, which means stand up, open hearted, open chested, open minded, and farghab, which means drive or direct all your what? Desires, not wants. That's beyond the wants. Outward, right? Exertion, effort, labor, with inward orientation of desire and belonging and whatever you need. Now, climatic structure here, this particular verse, it builds from the divine favor in verses 1 to 4 that makes you say, yes, we, indeed, in Arabic, you say bala. The answer is bala, not na'am. And na'am is answer to affirmative or a positive question, but a negative question you have to answer saying bala, without no. Bela, without no. Certainty, just like oui for the affirmative question in French, and si answering a negative question in French. They have two different yes, okay, to show certainty. So we talk about here the surah or this particular verse builds from divine favor, verses 1 to 4, to universal law of hardship and ease to every human being, Muslim or non-Muslim. Verses 5 to 6, it shows personal action and devotion in verses 7 to 8. I want you to think about it here again to wrap it up. Section 1, which is 1 to 4, verses divine favors, relief of burden, expansion of one's chest, elevation of one's reputation. The second part, which is verses 5 to 6, universal law of hardship, accompanied by ease, double ease, and unlimited possibilities of ease for every difficulty. One is definite, but ease is indefinite to show inclusivity of all types of forms of ease. Then we go to the last section of this chapter, section 3, which is verses 7 and 8. It shows the human responsibility, striving in action, directing all desires to God Almighty. Again, devices in play here. We have rhetorical questions answered with certainty, bala, right? Just like si in French instead of oui. The metaphor and personification of the chest and the burden, and of course also the repetition, the parallelism, and the rhyme and the rhythm. Okay, sound and rhythm, cohesive rhythm ending in ka, unifying and addressing you in the first person. Ka means you in Arabic, while repeated, it contrasts and paired imperative drive the surah's second half. So I would like you to understand the rhetorical and the literary devices in this particular chapter, but above all, to always remember with every difficulty, specific difficulty, comes what? Ease. With every, indeed, inna, that's the Arabic. مع العسر يسرا, with every difficulty comes ease, with every difficulty comes ease. That's for every human being. That's a universal law. And we have to always remember this. With God, we're capable of all things. And we know that because we say what? Even presidents, they say what? So help me God. So whenever you are in difficulty, whenever you direct all your desires to God, you will find the ease in every direction you go to. Thank you.